Hello everyone, I'm Laurel and welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and help my community grow. I thought today we would do some very simple and easy earrings, charms, pendants. This is great for beginners, and a lot of the things I'm going to show you are rather inexpensive. So the first thing you're going to need are obviously the resin, the UV resin. Now I use KISREL and I think this is wonderful. I've had no problems with yellowing, and it just seems overall just a good product. You'll also need some kind of molds. This I believe I purchased at Michael's, and I believe it was like $5.99, and these I just bought 2 of them. And these are from Dollar Tree, and at the time they're $1.25, but I've heard prices have gone up at Dollar Tree, so I believe they might be like $1.50, $1.75 now. You'll also need some type of mixing bowl. Now I'm using just these disposable ones. You can get silicone molds, and these are also rather inexpensive, and the only problem is you just have to clean them out after each use. These you can, after you use all your UV resin in there, you can just dispose of them. You'll need some kind of colorant, and I have just these colorants that are translucent. Now they do have opaque. Try to stay away from those, because if you're using UV resin, they won't cure properly. You need the ones that are translucent. And I just picked a bunch of colors. I have some foil, and I picked gold. They have it in silver, rose gold, and I'm not sure. I think they might even have copper looking foil, but I'm not really sure. This is holographic flakes, and I have pink and I have blue. They have other colors. These I had purchased also at Michael's. I'm not really sure of the price. It may have been around maybe the $8 range, but good product to get because they're very pretty in jewelry. You'll also need some kind of jump rings, and I usually get these BEADNOVA. I love the jump rings. The wire on these is very nice, and they don't really pull apart easily, so I really like these. But I got a variety of sizes. I got 6mm. These are 8mm. And I got 10mm, because you never know what size you're going to need for your project. Usually with the earrings, it only takes the 6 or the 8. These, probably 6 or 8. For earrings, you'll also need some earring hooks, and those are nice to have on hand. And you can get quite a few of the hypoallergenic earrings, and you get a nice little bunch for about $5 to $7. Of course, you'll need a mixing utensil, and you'll need some tweezers for putting some of these items into your jewelry. I also have some little rhinestones, and I got those off of Amazon. You'll need pliers, obviously, for your jump rings. And for necklaces, you can just get these cords, or you can buy chain by the spool and create your own chains, or you can buy a lot of chains. It's L-O-T, lot of chains. And those would probably be like 10 chains for maybe $20. I also have some little flowers just in case I decide to use those. Now for charms, you can use these, and these are great for little phone charms. Or you can make keychains and get a set like this, which you can use either as keychains, or you can also use them for charms. And it comes with jump rings and some little eyelet screws. And these are nice because these come with the little chain also on the keychain. And it does come with lobster claw clasps, but I don't have any left with this set. So I also purchased this set, and these are just a keychain, the round one, and the lobster claw clasp. And these are actually the smaller ones. So these are nice for like bag charms. You could use these for a sneaker charm. They're kind of tiny and they could just attach really easily. I like those. So I think that's everything. But everything is inexpensive. But first decide on what you're going to do. If you're going to make earrings, start with the 6mm jump rings and get the earring hooks. If you want to start with color, just get the colorant. You could also get mica powder. Don't go into it all at once and buy everything at once, because it does start adding up and it does get costly. So let's start with the earrings. I just want to mention one more thing. Don't forget your safety. Wear a mask and make sure you have some sort of gloves on. Alright, so let's get started. So I think with these earrings, I'm not really sure what I want to do yet, but I'm thinking about a couple of them. I just want to mix some colors together. So I'm just going to mix up a little of two colors. And this is just a fun way to make some kind of cool looking earrings. And then each pair also, I did 2 drops of this in there. And then each pair will look completely different. So I'm not sure how this is going to look, but I'm going to do purple and orange. And then you just mix it up. And then make sure it's mixed really good. And then I have a baby wipe here on the side, and I just clean off my tools with that. Mix this up really good. Now, since I'm using these bowls, I can't use my lighter to get the bubbles out because it will melt them. So I will be using a hot air gun, and those look like this. You can also use a hair dryer. That would work. Just try not to get resin on all your supplies. Make sure you keep yourself neat and keep your area neat. So I think I'm going to do, there's a little something in this one. Gotta get that out. Now, to clean out your molds, if there's a little piece of dust or a little piece of debris left over from another project, just use masking tape and just take a piece off and just run it inside your mold and make sure there's no little bits in there. It's always good to, just to be sure. Alright, so let's take these 2 colors. Even with the heat gun, I don't know if you can tell, but it did melt the plastic of this. So I guess I'll have to be a little more careful next time. So I want some orange there, and I'll put a little orange up here too, like so. And then I'll do it with this one. And up here a little bit. And then I'll add in the purple. Well, this is very simple, very easy to do. Actually, I think it makes a nice little combination. Just fill them all the way up to the top if you can. Kind of gives me Halloween vibes. Okay, so we can set those two aside. And I'm going to get my lighter. And just make sure there's no bubbles in there. And actually, oops, sorry for my arm, I had to get these again. I see that they're not totally filled. They've kind of sunk down a little bit. So I just want to add a little bit more. You just want it so it looks like it's filled to the top. Now be careful when you're pouring. Don't be heavy-handed and just pour straight into it. Just be careful how much you put in. Try to do drop by drop. Okay, now they look okay. I'm just gonna wipe my fingers off. Make sure there's nothing on my gloves. And then these I'll set aside for now. Now that's going to be a pair of earrings. Now I think I want to make this unicorn, and this should be kind of easy. I'm just going to take this pink and add some of the flakes in here. And I think I want to do also this wing. Now these are going to be charms. This is going to be a pair of earrings, and I may do a pendant. Let's see how far we get. Maybe a gold pendant. Maybe we'll do that. Let me see. Okay, get some resin in there. In there. And if there's some left over, we can always add it to one of the other ones. I think this one needs a little bit more resin. And I'll just add a little more to there too, just in case. And we'll pour it into, now you can, if you'd like, use some colorant in here also. You don't have to just do the pink. I just thought that would be kind of pretty, just something nice and sparkly. And then this will be the wing. And I'm hoping I have enough in here. Okay, make sure that it goes around that little part that you're going to add your jump ring to. Okay. I'm going to just clean off everything as I go, just to make sure. And I did get a little resin right here, so I'm going to clean that up right away just to get that out of the way. Okay, so then we have a moon, and I think with that, oops, I got a couple here. Just a couple more. That's what I like about the disposable. Once you're done with it, you can just put it in a little bag onto the side. I have a little plastic bag that I put all this stuff into. when I'm finished. All right, so let's see. I think we'll do some of these. I'm not sure which ones I want to use. I'll just take some out and then set them on the side. I have my tweezers for those. And I just stuck my finger, I don't know if you noticed that, right into this, so just have to do a little bit of a cleanup. Okay. And I'm going to mix some, I think I have yellow here, and that will be for the moon. I think we'll do the star too, also in yellow. We could put those two together because I think those would look really pretty as a single charm. And then just mix this up. Now with this, I'm just going to fill almost to the top. Oops. I have to stop for a second because I see a little hair in there. And we'll fill this almost all the way up. Same with this one. And let me see. And we got to do a pendant too. So let me set these aside. Before we put these in, I'm going to cure it first and then put that in. Now I'm trying to decide for a pendant what would I like to do. I think this is so pretty. So we can do some flowers. And you can just grab a bunch. Try to get the colors you like in there. Close it up. Add a little resin. Let them soak it up. This also helps to remove bubbles. Let's move this up a little bit. Okay, we'll need a little bit more. And I think I want just a drop of color. And I'm just going to do a drop of green. Just so it's very pale. And it has some color to it. I'm going to mix that up. And then we can add it in here. Make sure you push those flowers around. Get them in there. And if you might have to turn some of them over. Okay, let me just get a few more. Kind of want this pink one in there if I can get it. And I really think that these flowers are just so pretty. They're like mini daisies. this one has a little bit of a stem on it, so I'm just going to set that aside and then pick out another one that does not have a stem. Get that in there. This one has a stem also. Just need to turn it sideways a little bit. And then with your mixing tool, you can always just adjust all your little bits in there. And let me get this, clean myself off, clean this off, and clean this area off. Make sure all the resin's cleaned up. Okay, so now we can start curing. Let me set these aside. And I'm just going to move those over a little bit. Okay, so we'll start with these. And we'll start curing, I would say, let's see, 180, because we don't really have that much stuff in there except for the flowers. That off to the side. So we'll start with that. So 180 on one side and then 180 on the other side. Now with the flower pendant, we're going to have to go back in and add a top layer after this cure. And I'll be right back. Okay, so now that they're cured, this is the only one that needs a little bit more resin on it, just to cover up where the flowers are sticking out. And also to fill up the mold. And once you get that done, if you need a tool just to make sure everything is to the edges, I think I need a little bit more. And then I'm going to cure this for 180 seconds, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is done, and now we're just going to put the little rhinestones on these two items. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of clear resin on the top, and then I'm just going to spread it to the edges. Now if you want to make it simple, you could just drop the rhinestones into it but before you cure it, but for some reason some rhinestones do show up and others do not, and I don't know exactly why. I don't know if it's because the way they make them. Like some rhinestones you can just place right in there and they show up perfectly and they look really pretty, but for some reason some don't. And then they just look like a shiny little like blob in there. So I'm just going to place two on here, and you can just pat them down, and the UV resin acts like a glue and holds them in. I want this more towards the center, so I'm just going to tap that down. I might put another one in here. So I got 3, and then just tap that down. I think that looks really pretty. And then just clean off your tools. Now, this did a little bit of an overflow, so I'll tell you this right now. You'll need some sort of file. I have just this little itty bitty jewelry file that I use just for like the edge. You could also clip that off with a pair of scissors, or you can use like a nail file, like an emery board. Those work really great for filing your resin pieces. And now I'm going to cure this for 180 seconds and I'll be right back. Okay, so now they're done curing and we can remove them from the mold. Whoops. So there's the little star and you can see the hole just above it. Here's the moon. I think that turned out really pretty. The unicorn. So you really didn't need any colorant for it when you use those little holographic flakes. The wing, I think that turned out beautiful. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so these are the earrings. We'll pull those out. Now there's a little bit of a bit there that I don't want, so I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and just clip it right off. And if there's a little bit of an edge on there, take your file, whether it's a nail file or a jewelry file, and just do a 45-degree angle sanding, and it does not show up. And let's take this one out. Look how pretty those are. These definitely, like, you can turn them around if you want like that, so that you have them opposites. Or if you want them to show the same way, you can do that too. It's all up to you how you want them. Now, let's see, set this aside and we'll take this one out. Oops. And this is the flowers, and I think these turned out beautifully. Now it does have a couple little edges on it, so like I said, you can just clip them off. Some are just so tiny. Oh, I got all of them. And that's just a little bit of overflow onto the mold. Now this one, when it was heating up, I think it was heating too fast and it kind of overflowed a little bit, so I'll have to just cut away at that. And it's kind of easy. I mean, it's not really that hard to do. Just make sure you throw out those little bits, and then again you just file it at a 45-degree angle. And any place that you feel where it's kind of sharp, you can just feel along the edge and just do a quick file. And it doesn't even show, so you don't even have to worry about fixing it. And there is your pendant. Throw out these little bits here. Okay, so then the next step, I'm going to show you how to put these together. So I think the simplest would be the pendant, and I do see another little bit right here in the center of all places, right? So I'm just using just the blade just to crack that right off, and it looks fine. If you want to just file it a little bit, you can. That looks good. And then we'll have to get some of our jump rings. So let's see what we're going to use. We get, I think those should use the 6mm. Now you can always just test it out and see if you need a larger size. You might. Let me see where the hole is. That one's going to need a larger one. I think that one will too. Actually, I think all of these will. So we'll move on to the 8mm. And just take these and set these back inside here. Now these are all relatively inexpensive. You get a bunch of them for $3.99. So we'll just get some of these out and see how this goes. And the only reason we're using the 8mm is because the hole is down farther, so you need a little bit of extra room. And I'm going to need 2 pairs of pliers for this. And then you just close up the ends so that they meet. And then when you open them, make sure you open the jump rings to the side. Don't pull them apart because you'll lose that round circle. It'll like make them look all deformed if you pull them apart. So just do it, pull it to the side, and let's see if we can get this in there. Yep, we did. Before we do that, I think with this one, I think that would make a nice charm. Same with that. I'm not sure if I want to do, I think I just want to put these on. So just have them ready. I'm sorry, I should have said that in the first place. Have your little bits ready. And you just close that up. Here's one charm. Now this one, we're going to just have to reopen it to put the charm on, which is not a problem. Now it may be a little difficult because of all these little jagged edges for the horse's mane, but you will be able to get it on. And then you just close it up so those ends meet. And you got another charm. That would look nice on your backpack or purse. Now this one I wanted to do 2 separate ones. So I'm going to open 2 jump rings, but I want to make it into one charm. So I'm going to use this with the chain. Grab one, and it's just the round piece with the chain. And I think that would look really nice because then we can hang the charms from different lengths. So first I'm going to do the moon, and the moon's going to be the main charm. So I'm going to take that and place this at the bottom. Okay, so I just kind of squeezed it the wrong way. I'm just trying to fix it. Okay, so I got my pliers stuck in between the charm and the jump ring, so kind of bent it out of shape a little bit, but it's okay. So there we go, we got that. And then I'm going to do the star, and I'm going to put the star, let's see if I can do this. Oop, I think I lost that one. Nope, fell down. Alright, so for this, I'm just going to put it through, and I'm going to go up a little higher, maybe up to where it's connected right there, and see if I can do this. Make sure you have them facing the right way. There we go. And then I'm going to get those two ends to meet, and I did it again where my plier got stuck between the jump ring and the piece, so it kind of moved it a little bit. So I'm just going to have to get those ends to meet. And there, let me see if I can do this. There. So then we have the star and the moon. And now if you don't want this round one on there, you can take it off. But if you want it to look a little longer, you can just place the lobster claw clasp and it rotates, and it'll look really pretty on, like I said, backpack or your purse. And then we have to do earrings. So the earrings, we'll do the same. We'll just get the 8mm. So we'll just get 3 of those out because we're going to have to do this too. Alright, so just open it up. Get that through there. I don't know if it'll go through. Okay, so that one's too thick. It won't go through. So we'll just have to use the larger one, which is the 10mm for those. I believe for that one we'll have to do the 10mm also. Let me see these. Yeah. Alright. So let me get those. Okay, and then for the earrings, you just get 2 fish hook earrings. And for this, yeah, I'm just going to use a leather cord, and I think I'm going to choose a green one because there's a lot of green in here, and we did add green into the color. So we'll use that. So you just open up the 10mm. It's a little tougher, it's a little thicker too. And then drop your earring onto it. Close it up. Same with this one. Make sure though when you put the earring hook on, you have them facing in the opposite direction. Now for the necklace, just fit that through. Hopefully it'll fit. There we go. Now you also can use a pinch bail on these, which are really nice. I can show you that real quick. Okay, so these are pinch bails. Now, how they work is you choose one that you think will look nice for your pendant. And you have to choose one large enough. Now, if you're just doing this, you just add your cord on and you close it up. And then there's your pendant. And that looks really pretty. Now, if you want to add a little something extra, I'm just looking to see if I can find one that I think that would look really pretty with it. I have all different shapes. There's leaves, all kinds of leaves. I know there's like a little diamond in here, like rhinestone. Or you can just take something as simple as this and put that on. So I'll show you that really quick. We'll just take this off. Take it out of there. Okay. And then these two little ends, as you can see, you just open them up wide enough so you can get your piece in, and then put them on the hole like so, and just do a little pinch onto it, but not too tight, and it should hold this in. And then on here you can add your cord like so. I think it should fit through there. Yes, it should. And then there you have a really fancy looking necklace. It adds just that little extra, I think. And those actually are inexpensive too. I think I paid like $7.99 for this whole set. So there you go. You got a pendant that you can make. It's so easy. It's just so easy to do. Earrings. Just remember not to fill up your molds too much, because then it's harder to get the jump rings through because it's too thick. So just make sure you don't fill it too much. Don't have it like dome up a little bit. Keep it kind of flat. We have the Moon and Star charm, our unicorn charm, this charm. This is really nice because this has got some really nice feathery detail on it, and our necklace. So if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and press that bell for notifications of upcoming videos. In the description box below you will find links to the supplies, and you'll also find a link to my Etsy shop, which is Creations by Laurel. There's also links to my jewelry, my artwork, and my photography. Thank you again for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.